represent the El Gamal family. They're a mother and her 5 children who have been detained at the Dili concentration camp for 9 months. There are 2 5-year-old twins. There's a 9-year-old, a 16-year-old, and an 18-year-old who's been separated from her parents as a result of her decision to speak out about the conditions that they have experienced. They're being fed worms, dirt, dirty fingernails. The guards are verbally abusive almost every day. They're being punished and threatened every time they speak out. When one of my clients had appendicitis, he was writhing around on the floor in pain in Dili, and the guards told him to take a Tylenol and come back in 3 days. So we cannot stress enough, what we are seeing in Dili is paving the way to a very, very dark place. We see the deaths that have taken place so far this year. This goes beyond negligence and bad apples. This is a systematic effort by the federal government to conduct child abuse, to kill detainees, to allow them to die. And this is not just a moral issue. The Trump administration is attempting to establish a dictatorship in this country. Trump said he's trying to abolish the Bill of Rights in 2022. And they're launching a war on Iran, which has always been used to facilitate the suppression of democratic rights at home. Now, I want to make one point, because I've been to a lot of events like this, and a lot of the time politicians come out, especially in midterm election years, and they talk about how upset they are. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did it in Texas in 2018 and then disappeared from the scene as soon as the media cameras went away. This happens all the time. If this movement is going to develop to actually bring to a close and to criminally prosecute every single ICE official and White House official who's responsible for carrying out this attack on the rights of immigrants, for assassinating American citizens on the streets of Minneapolis, it's going to require a movement that takes an entirely different orientation than an orientation to the Democratic Party, which is responsible for the very laws that allow for the mass detention that exist in this country. Dili was opened by the Obama administration. It was kept open by the Biden administration. The laws that exist in this country that keep immigrants out of federal court, the 1996 laws, were passed almost unanimously. And in fact, that fight was led by the Democratic Party and the Clinton administration in 1996. Look up Barbara Jordan. You'll find all you need to know about the role the Democrats have played in preparing this. So I think that people here shouldn't listen to the politicians when they say, vote for them in the next elections and we'll make it all better, because they're not going to. And if you're going to believe that this time, after all the times they've said that in the past, then you're a fool. And I don't think people are, because I think the population of this country is fed up with this, and they're not buying the Democrats' lies anymore.
That's right.
And so I would like to just conclude here by appealing to you. Study the history in this country. Study the history of the struggle against fascism in Germany, in Spain, because what this country needs is a mass movement from below based on the working class. That's what's needed in this country. Go out and fight for it in your schools, fight for it in your workplace, build a committee so that you can protect your non-citizen co-workers and defend what remains this country's democracy. What I will say is, this is the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. On July 4th, they wrote one of the most important documents in the history of the world, and they said that you have a right to revolution when the government becomes violative of your basic democratic rights. Thank you.